Hi and welcome to the e-commerce mastery Facebook Live. I'm Matt Edmundson and this is the beautiful, talented and all-round good egg, Beth.
Oh wow, thank you. Hi. That's a great way to start.
Well, you know. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're not having the technical issues that we've been having for the last 5 minutes. Just trying to get on Facebook Live apparently is a bit of a task this evening.
Happens sometimes, not all the time though.
Not all the time.
We'll push through.
We'll push to keep going. There we are. I can see ourselves. We're all Mac'd up today, as you can see. We have the Mac and we have the iPad. And so the reason we have all these computers is I will share my screen with you at some point today.
Yeah. And
you're checking out Facebook.
Yeah, so if you want to write a comment, just write in the comments below. Ask us any questions about e-commerce, e-commerce mastery, blogs. That's the topic of today, right?
That's why you can ask us questions about blogs, because apparently we're talking about blogs
We
today.
are! E-commerce news, the best online business blogs, oh gosh, we've ever seen. So we're looking at the best business blogs we've ever seen.
The best, well it says here, the best online business blogs we've ever seen.
Yeah, that's the one. Because this is e-commerce, right?
Right. Okay, very good. So, what are we saying?
First thing, we need to tell people out there, say hi people, why their e-commerce business needs a website. So why do we think...
A blog.
A blog, yeah.
It's 6 o'clock here in the UK and I think sugar levels have fallen.
Oh, it's fine. It's not a technical issue. I got all in my head.
Yeah.
And then...
It's all gone pear-shaped.
Shall I start again?
Start again.
Okay. So why does your e-commerce site need a blog?
This is a really great question, eh? Now we finally got to it. But so this is a really great question. Why does an e-commerce site need a blog? Now, if we talk about Jersey Beauty Company, we have a blog and you run it, right? And Beth
Team first do.
the team of you run, but you oversee the whole thing,
I know
right? Make sure it happens. And we changed our marketing maybe, 18 months ago?
Yeah.
Coming up to maybe 18 months, 2 years ago now. And we started to blog with a lot more intentionality. Whereas before it was just quite sporadic. Every now and again when we thought about it.
When we felt like it, we'd be like, oh, hi.
Yeah. Hi, here's about anything that we could think about writing about at the time, right? But we have since then, we changed our stance. We've become much more proactive and much more intentional about our blog.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is the blog brings traffic to your site. And so the blog is a great way to educate and inform and to connect with clients and for them to understand who you are, what your products are, how you can help them is a real critical one, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, last week, I think it was last week or the week before, we reviewed the book They Ask You Answer.
Yeah, we did. It was last week, yeah. Don't run, you know that's all been clapped.
It's all going to go. Sorry, I wrecked the set. But we talked about this last week. They Ask You Answer. Well, in effect, the sort of the thing of the foundation of this guy is he wrote a blog, right?
Yeah.
And he started writing blog articles.
And he was selling swimming pools.
Yeah.
So you can do it with anything.
You can do it with any business, right? So I think blogs are a great way to generate traffic when they're done right, when they're done intentionally. Generate traffic, connect with clients, educate, draw people in, and increase sales on your website. So the bottom line is, on an e-commerce site, a blog when done right, and that's the critical part.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do it right for 10 years.
Yeah.
A long time, right? Maybe 9 years. A blog when done right increases traffic on your website. A blog when done wrong increases frustration on your website.
Definitely. Let's have a look at some blogs. Which blogs stand out then?
So,
which blogs are doing it right? Which blogs
are doing it wrong?
Let's have a look.
Have we got any wrong blogs?
We should have got some really wrong blogs.
These are all right blogs.
To be honest though, it took me, in my research, a while to find people that I was like, yeah, you're doing it right. So
really?
There you go, yeah.
So other people doing it wrong?
The big people who think would have done it right. I was like, you don't have a blog? What is this?
I don't like you anymore. In fact, I've gone off you. I'm never shopping from you again.
That's the way I work.
Yeah. So I guess the guy that sort of started me down this road would be Michael Hyatt. And I've got his website here. Hopefully you can see that.
So what does he do then?
So Michael Hyatt, your virtual mentor when at work succeeded life.
That's amazing.
He's an American, right? Very American sort of feel. But Michael is a kind of online coach in effect, your virtual mentor. He does a lot on leadership. He's written a number of books like How to Build a Platform, an online platform. He used to be the CEO of Thomas Nelson Publishers, one of the biggest book publishers in the world. So he knows a thing or two about getting a book published, you know, so he does a lot of stuff about platform, building your platform, what that looks like in the modern day. He has a lot of people look at his website, he's got a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers, and he blogs around that kind of productivity, how to manage a day, leadership sort of genre.
Cool.
And I would say he has been, out of anything, he's been like super consistent with his blog. So back when I started reading it, back in the early days, he has always been blogging, just consistently banging out the content.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that content is repeated. Some of it isn't, or maybe it's the same topic with a different slang. But he is constantly whacking that content out there, and it's a great site. So if we look at his site, sorry, did I explain who he was and what he?
Yeah, you explained. Yeah.
Okay. So that's Michael.
So why do we love this blog then?
Why do I like it? There's a number of things I like it. Number one, I like his headline, your virtual mentor type thing. You know in an instant what this guy is about, right? I like he's got his credibility things, his Forbes, Business Week, Wall Street Journal. These are all big named kind of builds credibility. And then we go on to his blog, and everything's super clear, right? So he's got nice clear headlines, the sub-headlines, what you can learn from it. He's got here his different categories, his 5 different categories of blog posts: personal development, productivity, leadership, influence, and obviously his resources. So I quite like that. And then his blogs sort of follow a very similar pattern in terms of how he sort of writes his blog posts. I've not actually read this one. George Washington showed us how leaders are readers. How leaders are readers. And so obviously he's talking about, you know, Washington and reading books. He gives you, you'll find this with a lot of Michael Hyatt kind of posts, he gives you this sort of step 1, do this, or 5 top tips. So number 1, read widely. So 5 lessons. Number 2, use books and challenge yourself. 3, organise your personal library. 4, record some thoughts on books, and so on and so forth. Now he's got a little quote. I like this sort of tweet the quote thing. I don't actually know how many people would use it, but it encourages social interaction. And then he always ends with a question, which I think is a great way to get people to engage with your blog.
That's a good way,
and at the bottom he's got this sort of like this post, sign up, so you can subscribe. That's his call to action. And then he's got all kinds of things on here. I find one of the things can I say what I don't like about his blog? I like his simple call to action. Now I want to launch your own blog, watch my free screencast. So now he's going to draw me in. I imagine this is going to want my email address, so then he can get me on his list and start marketing to me. I'm not a big fan, oops Daisy, pressed the button accidentally. I'm not a big fan of all this stuff on the right here. This just feels very, very busy and quite distracting. So how to launch a WordPress blog, obviously that makes sense for what I'm on here. My shareable quotes, get noticed, theme for WordPress, and now he's selling me his theme for his blog. Let's take your blog or business to the next level with Platform University, that's his membership site. Get published, that's his course, and now he's got adverts on there. I think that's just a bit busy for me. I'd be like, give me one thing. Amy Porterfield, actually, I was listening to her podcast, which is not a blog, but it's like an audio blog. So you can
so it doesn't have to be a blog.
It doesn't have to. If you prefer to do the audio stuff, you can do podcasts. We do Facebook Lives. Super easy, right?
What do you think the main aim of a blog or podcast is?
I think the main reason you do it is to connect with the person reading it. Right? So ultimately you want to build your tribe, you want to build your audience, whether it's an e-commerce website or a leadership site like Michael's or a marketing site like Amy Porterfield. You want to build your tribe, which means you want to build your email list of actually good people that you can market to who will buy your goods and services, whether they're digital or real, right? And so to do that, you've got to give great content in the blog, and you've got to take people on a journey, and so on and so forth. And where Michael has just thrown everything on that one page, and it's like, which one do I click? I don't know. Amy Porterfield has actually taken all of that off, and you can't actually find links to her courses on her website.
Yeah.
You kind of, in fact, should we have a look
It's
at
a
it?
clever move. Mm-hmm.
I think it's really interesting. There's a real difference here between Michael and Amy. Both are quite well known. Both have really high generating traffic sites.
I think they work with each other as well, right?
They do. They're always talking about each other. Just get rid of that. So Amy makes money from courses, right? So you join her $1,000. I think $1,000. That's the product in effect. But all of this is about her podcast, right? And so she's breaking it down, making it easy for you. Which do you want to do? I want to start. So I'm going to go and here watch Expert Secrets and Online Strategies with Russell Brunson, who's a webinar guy. So we'll read that. And so now it looks like a blog post as such, right? Except for I can listen to the podcast. And Amy's been super cool. She just takes her podcast. Somebody obviously then takes the content from her podcast and creates a blog post out of it. But look, real simple call to action. Get the freebie. Yeah. Right. So Amy's always about the freebie. Get your email address. And then what she'll do is she'll put you on and you can listen to her podcast because she tells you all of this in her podcast. Right. So I'm not sharing anything that's secret. So you'll join her email list and then she'll take you on a very definite journey with email to sign up to her courses. So that's a real difference. And I actually prefer, I think, Amy's way of doing it because it's simple and it's not confusing. I do really like Michael Hyatt's content though. I think the way he puts his content together is super helpful. Same with Amy. I mean, you and I sit and listen to Amy and we kind of go, we love Amy, she's awesome, but the
amount
quality
of stuff that you can learn, it's just, the whole thing is quality. She gives amazing freebies. I'm like, wow. Yeah,
really top quality content. Her and Michael give you a lot of good free quality content.
So I guess that's our top tip then. Make sure your blog has got quality content, not just like, hi, here I am, but actually thought out quality stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we could, today in Facebook Live, we could just go, your website needs a blog, here are 3 examples, and then just kind of left it, but we're kind of delving in a little bit more. Yeah. Trying to add more value to the content, right? And this is what you want to do with your blog, definitely.
Brilliant, let's move on to another one that we've got.
So, this one was one you chose, Living Well, Spending Less.
So good. See, instantly, right, you can see why I love this book. I'm like, it's pink and yellow. Right?
Is that why? It's all about the design.
I came across, she's called Ruth, but I don't know how to pronounce, it's like Sokup or Sokup, I don't know. I came across her because she wrote an amazing article about her story, and it took you into like 4 different parts of each story. And then we did a Elite Blog Academy.
Oh yeah, she runs Elite Blog Academy course,
but actually she started out, her story is that she was spending too much money, and her life just spiraled down from that point. And then she, to keep herself accountable to not spending money, she wrote a blog to be like, do something else other than spend. And then from that, she's created like these amazing planners, like how to save money, like just really cool like ways that you can learn how to save money. So if you click on a blog,
if I go blog,
instantly, right, I love how easy it is. So it's like food made simple, life, home 101, smart money. It's 4 categories, only 4. That's just like, makes my life simple.
Yeah, that's super cool. Michael did the same thing, real simple categories. Amy's was simple categories.
Yeah, and I would probably click life because I'm just really nosy.
That one. Okay, I'll click life, see what happens.
And then just go on anyone, go on the first one, this summer one.
This one here.
Yeah. Summer fun on any budget. And like, just if you scroll through it, you will see how long these are. Like, she calls them pillar content. So she doesn't do anything by halves. She puts everything she knows about one topic into a blog post.
Wow.
Like, she's got the faffy bits on the side like Michael Hyatt, but her blog posts are insanely good. So good. And then, I just really like the fact, by the end of that, you read that, by the end of it, like, you can't help but like her. Do you know what I mean? Like, instantly. When, genuinely, this is proof that it works. When she released her Living Well, Spending Less planner, I was like, I really want it for some reason. Like, even though it's American, even though it's more expensive than a normal planner, like, I'm like, I really want this planner. For some reason, just because I really like her, and I know who she is, and I know her story, and her content is brilliant, so she's given me loads of free stuff already. So I didn't buy it yet. I'm like, still watch it. She makes new designs, and I'm like, which design do I like best? I'll wait for the next one.
So the way this works for you then is it engages you, right, with, again, high quality content. And she's putting
if you
good
like
stuff
reading blogs, then that's brilliant.
Yeah. And she's got obviously put a lot of thought, and the imagery is quite nice and it draws you in. Like you, I'm not a big fan of this ad on the side, but I can see why she's done it.
Yeah.
You know, she's put a few ads on there. I don't know, does that actually make any money? That would be one of the things that again, I'm not a big fan of the ads, but I get why people do it. If your income is coming from a blog, then that makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah. So if this is how you're generating income, cool. For an e-commerce website, I don't think you need all of those adverts personally. But the thing which we've learned from here then is that, like Michael, you've got real simple navigation, 4 choices of category, right? We've all been to blogs when there's like 20 different categories.
Yeah, it's too much.
You're spoiled for choice. Yeah. So I think 4 or 5 categories is max from what we can learn here. The other thing that she's done very well is she's tailored the design of her blog to her audience.
Yeah, she has.
Very well. Definitely. So is Michael, I would say. Michael's is very corporate, very blues, greys. We're talking to leaders, business leaders. She's obviously talking to, I would say, females. It's not very masculine in terms of the colours on the site, but they're fun.
Yeah.
And so I would say, you know, she's quite a fun person. And so use the design of your site to represent your brand pretty well.
Yeah. And you could do that with anything. Like, even if you were selling sheds, like, just you could get as much quality content about that as possible.
You can do some great content around sheds.
You might not think you can, but you actually can. Like, her stuff is amazing, and it's so long and detailed and really good, and it's just about having a budget.
So do you advocate then the long form blogs like these over the short form blogs?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I think they work more. On Jersey, we can link this to Jersey. The blogs that, if you go on the Jersey blog,
do you want me to go on there now?
blogs that do best are the really meaty ones about, you need to go on the blog. The really meaty ones about dark under eye circles, about 6 beauty therapist steps. You know, the ones that we were like, what do we know about beauty? We sat down, I remember writing the briefs for them and just being like putting everything that we knew in there.
I'm looking for the dark. Here we go. So the darks and dry circles. So this is a blog post that's worked very well for us, right? It's generated a lot of traffic.
And it's basically just everything that we've learned over the years about dark circles, everything.
So again, a lot of content on there. I guess we could, if we were going to learn from some of the other blogs, we've got a picture here at the top.
Yeah.
We could probably do with maybe scattering a few more images in the post.
Funny you should mention that. If you go to our latest blog post, you will see that the wonderful Christina has added images on. I think it's gone live. So try the sun protection one. I think it's that one. And if you scroll down, there's some nice pictures of people enjoying the sun.
There we go.
There's
Sunshine.
The sun, there's some products. There's one of Michelle. There she is.
There we go.
She works for Jersey.
Much nicer.
Yeah.
So again, long form kind of blog post. And obviously we link to relevant products in the blog post. So that's a product about SPF, which is relevant for now because we're in the summer.
Yeah.
Right? We obviously link to products which we talk about in the post. So it's not a sales letter.
No.
As such, it's super helpful
information. It's like what works, what doesn't, and we are very honest about what doesn't work as well in our blogs. So we're like, oh, actually, we tried this, it didn't work. We tried this, it did, and we'll tell why, and we'll go into ingredients and that kind of thing.
And we try and educate a little bit.
Yeah. So it's more, the purpose is to educate, it's not to sell.
Yeah. So again, you can use that in your e-commerce website, and you can draw people into this content and point them to your products. I like the fact that we've not got many things here on the right hand side. So we've got the recent posts, post by topic. We've got our little solve your skin concerns today. So if this again is deliberate, right? We want people who aren't ready to buy products to give us their email address.
Yeah.
And so that call to action on the blog post is super helpful. In fact, it's one of the things that I don't like about the Matt Edmundson e-commerce consultant blog.
Let's go on that one as well.
Should we go on that one?
Let's round it up.
I'm just going to rip my blog to pieces. But that's okay, we're getting a new one. Phew.
That's funny.
And so here, look. So here is a blog that we created from one of the Facebook Lives. So there's the video from the Facebook Live. So this Facebook Live will become a blog post at some point.
Yeah, it
right?
will.
And so we've got the headline, we've got kind of things that you'll learn. Nice clear sort of clutterless screen, which I quite like. We've got the transcript, which is the content for the blog post.
That's nice. I like that it's just a blog. I like that.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's nice. We put some headlines in to make it easy to read. We could add a few images, but the one thing I don't like about this blog, which is the one thing that I think we are going to address in our new blog that's being developed at the moment, is there's no distinct call to action. So it would be great to get people's email addresses with relevant targeted kind of opt-ins at some point. So if someone's wanting to know about, I don't know, say e-commerce technology, then we have an opt-in which is kind of like, hey, download 20 things you need to know about choosing the right e-commerce platform for you and your business, or something like that. So we get the email addresses of folks, and then we can, enter an email conversation and hopefully build a relationship with those folks, which is the ultimate aim, right? Not to spam, but to connect. And so that's one of the things that I don't like about this site. So we are changing it, but we use a number of different blogging platforms, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So for Jersey, we use.
Tell us which one you use. It'd be really interesting to know what people use and to compare notes.
Compare notes. Yeah. But what do you use for Jersey?
HubSpot.
And how do you like HubSpot?
Yeah, it's great. There's a number of us that do it though. So like my work is they've got this clever little tool where you just upload the blog really quickly, and then other people make it look pretty. So how genius is that? I couldn't say that I spend ages on it, but like check through it. I'm like, yeah, it's great. Do some editing, put it on there. It's just like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's just this little tool that means you can pass it on to different people. They make it look brilliant, and then I'm like, brilliant. And you can track what's happening on the blog, how many people have clicked on it, is it doing well? Yeah,
it's great. I mean, HubSpot is a phenomenal platform, but it is super, super expensive, especially for e-commerce websites, because the cost of HubSpot is based on the contacts in your database. So you've got to be committed to that road to go down it, which we are, because we also have a marketing agency that works, that we're sort of involved with. So we've chosen HubSpot for Jersey Beauty. Now for the Edmundson site, we use a platform called Ghost, which is a platform I'd never come across. We tried Squarespace, we tried Weebly, we tried WordPress, we tried Rainmaker, tried all these different, we tried them all, right? And we ended up using Ghost as a blogging platform, which for me, I just love, because it's so easy to type and format. It uses Markdown, so that works super well for me. So you can check out Ghost.
What was your experience of WordPress then? Because I think when people think blogs, I need to start a blog. They do WordPress.
They do WordPress. WordPress is a really interesting platform, and they say that one in 4 websites at the moment is a WordPress website.
I would imagine.
I mean, WordPress powers like a quarter of the internet, or some crazy amount of websites. Whatever the number is, it's ridiculously high. And you can either use their hosting, so they'll host the WordPress blog for you, and you just use it, or you can download the entire code and upload that to your own hosting server. And we've tried it with both. WordPress is great in the sense that it's open source, it's free, and if you want your WordPress site to do anything, somebody somewhere will have written a plugin to make it do that. Okay, so Mike Hyatt is a WordPress site.
He loves it, doesn't he?
He's a big WordPress fan, and he sells you the theme for the WordPress site, and that's another cool thing, right? You can go onto any store and buy a theme for WordPress, so you get a professionally designed website for like $100. I mean, it's cheap as chips, and that's incredible, right? It's amazing. So you think you don't have to go and get the whole thing designed. It's free. You can manage it. It's flexible. It builds. It scales with you. There's not really a whole lot you can't make it do. That said, I'm not a fan. And I've been on WordPress for years, and I got bored with all the constant updating. I appreciate things are different now. You can get hosting companies that do all that for you, and then plugins not working with new updates and so on and so forth. And it's resource heavy. It just takes a lot of resource to run that site. It's a bit like it is, and things like Ghost I thought was much simpler.
It's very clean.
For me, very clean.
Maybe we're just a bit like, no clutter.
We obviously don't like clutter. But so we've sort of gone around the mill on them. But that said, we're getting rid of all of those, and my our wonderful tech guys
Yeah.
are busy building a custom platform for us to get us to do exactly what it is we want on our blog.
Ooh, so watch this space.
Yeah, we'll let you know when that site launches, and actually when we've done it, we'll talk through the different features of the site and why we've done them, because
Yeah, that'd be good.
there's some really clever learning gone into that. I'm really, really excited by it. So finally we will get there with the Edmundson site where I go, that's a site I'm proud of, for like 5 minutes before it all changes. But yeah, back to e-commerce, blogs.
So we've learned so many things about blogs, like little tips, big tips, like make sure it's quality content. Oh, something's happened to us.
Sorry,
But
fixed it.
shall I keep going?
Yeah, no, it's just a warning which came up on the screen for some reason. It's the
Sorry about
camera's
that. We're still here. Yeah, so make sure it's quality content, and we said make sure that it's not cluttered, and we said so many things. I feel like I need to review it all in my head.
Review it all in your head. The bottom line is, if you have an e-commerce website and you don't have a blog which is generating traffic and sales for you, you are missing a trick.
Yeah, you're right.
A good place to start is to read this book to get the kind of inspiration that you need and to understand why we think it's such a good thing.
Or join Mastery.
Join Mastery.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them about Mastery?
No, you can, but we tell you how to do all the blog stuff like properly.
Yeah, so in e-commerce Mastery, which is our new digital course, which is going to launch super soon, it teaches you all you need to know about e-commerce, and in there is a whole section about content and creating content and how we do it.
Because it's quite a step-heavy process as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we come across a lot with our clients is, you know, Matt, it's great, you're telling me that if I do this content over here, then I'm going to generate this traffic, and that's super cool, and I want that traffic and I want those customers. But how in the hell do I create that content in the first place, right? Because that's a lot of content and it scares folks. They're like, I'm not a writer, I'm not this, that and the other. So we go through all of that in Mastery, and we go through the framework which we use. We tell you step by step how we do it, because we think we found some really clever little systems that sort of work super well for us. Very quick, time-saving systems. And we do go through all of that in Mastery, which, like I said, is the new e-commerce course coming out hopefully very, very soon. It's all done.
Yeah.
In fact, we're working on the bonus videos right now. So it's all very exciting stuff. So you can get that and learn a whole bunch of stuff about e-commerce. One of the things that we do talk about is the content in the blogs.
I'll put the pre-registration in the comments below as well. And if anyone's got any questions about that, it'd be great to read them. So,
yeah, actually, it's worth saying, if you are watching this before the cart is open and pre-registration is still up, do pre-register, because if you pre-register, you get first refusal on the course when it opens, and there are only 50 spots in the first in this particular launch. So make sure you get in there, because it is going to, well, I think it's incredible. Everyone that's done it before said it's really good, so I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah.
Just a little bit biased, but I do think it's really good. So yeah, make sure you do pre-register. Good. Anything else to say on blogs?
No, that was quite a good little Facebook Live, I think.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great.
Glad you stayed late.
I do say so myself. Always gets a bit weird after 6.
It's good, isn't it?
But thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Now next week,
you know what we're doing, it says on here. What does that say?
Next week, MJ and Hotjar.
Yeah. What does that mean?
That needs context, doesn't it? So next week, joining us in the studio is going to be Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
And Mark is our technical dude. Like, he's like the boffin, isn't he? Anything technical, Mark knows the answer to. And we are going to talk to you about a service called Hotjar, which we've used to great effect on the Jersey side. And we're going to go through that and try and understand what's so cool about it. So if you, again, run an e-commerce website, this is a free tool that we use. We're going to run through some key things about it next week, which can super help you get your website engaging customers a lot more. Great tool. He loves it. And so, yeah, really recommend it. So that's next week, which I'm looking forward to. Mark's a cool dude.
Good. Yeah.
Super tech. He's like you. He's got this very broad Yorkshire accent, hasn't he? So if you don't understand Yorkshire, you might struggle.
But we put the captions on. So it's all good.
Translation. E-by good. Right. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week.